Well, good day, traders. Chris Weston here, Head of Research at Pepperstone. We've been saying the last few days about how traders were covering some of those US dollar shorts as we went into the Powell testimony to the House Services Panel. That trade, was obviously prudent in the sense that obviously the people were managing their exposures ahead of that. But what we've seen is a big reversal coming through in the US dollars. That's been really led by that front end of the Treasury curve, where 2-year yields on the day were down 8 basis points. The idea that Powell is obviously very much cognizant of what's happening in the global growth story. That was then backed up by what we saw in the FOMC minutes. And, it really did open the door now to a July cut. In fact, you probably go as far as saying that is now being fully pre-announced that they are going to cut rates in the July meeting. We're back onto that 25-50 rate cut debate again, and the market's positioned for that situation. So we have seen some selling of dollars coming through today. If you go into the table there, you can have a look at dollar yen, 107.94, down 52 points on the session. We've got euro dollar, up at 112.74. Dollar CAD's been interesting. We saw the Bank of Canada coming out with their calls last night, very nuanced, very neutral, as we've been saying. But again, backing up what we've seen from Powell, that the global economy is one of fragility, and they're seeing external considerations, which is why the Fed will probably cut in that July meeting. But if you have a look ahead of tonight, we are seeing that those flows into the out of the US dollar, and I think gold's been the net beneficiary of that. If you have a look at the gold price, 14.24, up $5 on the day, but they had a big move in the US session. The big situation there is, if you can see from the daily chart, around that 14.25 level, the market on at least a couple of occasions has seen moves higher than that, but then the sellers have come in quite aggressively. So I think if we can get a daily close, preferably a weekly close through sort of 14.25, I think that's one that the bulls will take every day of the week, and will suggest that perhaps we can chop through some of this supply and make another exertion higher in this bull run that we've been seeing. Again, it really comes down to the event risk that we've got through in the session ahead. So if we have a look at that, really, if European event risk evolves around some of the German CPI numbers, the French CPI numbers, I don't expect huge volatility from them. They're revision numbers, but we do go into the US. I think that's where we've got the event risk. Have a look at, we've got the different Fed speakers coming through tonight. We've got Jerome Powell again testifying to the Senate panel this time, but then we've got Bostic coming out with his testimony. We've also got John Williams, who's the New York Fed president, and his insight will be very interesting. He comes out 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. So again, that's going to be one that really will solidify the deal and also potentially move the dollar on a dime there. And I think the US CPI numbers coming out at 10:30 will be very interesting as well. Certainly if we get headline below 1.6, again, that really solidifies the idea of what's happening in rate cuts. That's something that traders will be watching out. So definitely keep our eye on what's happening in US CPI. Definitely keep our eye on what's happening in the Fed speakers. Certainly John Williams, I think, will be key there. If you have a look at equity markets today across Asia, it's been some relief buying that we have got this aggressive path being portrayed by the Fed again. Asian markets certainly liking that situation. The dollar weakness is probably helping in that situation as well. If you have a look at our calls based on what we're seeing in European markets, S&P above 3,000. Whether it can hold that level is something to be interesting. We've got Wall Street cash called up 61 points. We're calling and eyeing a move into that sort of 2,700 level, and better gains again seeing in the FTSE, and also the DAX being called up 43 points as well. So certainly relief all round. I think the fact that Powell has pre-announced effectively a rate cut is certainly seeing that relief, but whether it can be sustained will be very interesting.